Well, hello there, Minecrafters. Thanks for coming by. We are back in Diversity 2, the developer's commentary, and we have ColdFusionGaming with us. Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Hang
Absolutely
on.
beautiful.
There we go.
CFG, how's it going?
Uh, decent.
Decent, decent. Now,
I thought this place needed more vines, so.
yeah, you're a little obsessive. Thank you for adding that. This will be in the new update.
Yep.
So CFG is one of the members of the build team. Actually, I think you were the first addition to the build team, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember.
But you did which branches?
I did all of them.
You did all of them.
I did adventure and survival branches.
Okay, so today we are going to be looking at the adventure branch. So let's head in there through the plate of death and flowers.
Vines. Forget
Beautiful.
that.
Here we go. Let's head in. And this is actually probably the most common branch people start in. So your work is sort of the first thing they see to kind of give them an idea of how good the map is going to be. So how much sweat were you losing over that?
Well, I thought I didn't know that they were going to start with an adventure branch. I thought that would be more common for the middle, but I
Yeah,
suppose it is the first on the selection.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's why I think.
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. This is a mansion, and I know you modeled this after another one of your maps. Why
I
don't you tell them
did.
about that?
It's modeled after the LeBrewer Mansion. It was
Hmm.
a map I made back in October of 2013, and it was LeBrewer Mansion is my personal favorite map that I've made,
Oh, really? Okay.
and so I've been. I thought it was interesting. I really got into the building style, which is why I built another mansion.
Yeah, and I'll tell everybody it's kind of funny because I believe I did approach you first, or at least you approached you first during the actual process of picking out a team, and I said, "What do you think about building an adventure map?" Because I'd played Gloria, and I knew you had a lot of really good maps behind you, and it was funny because you said, "Give me a minute," and you came back within like. It was it like a half hour. You had the idea of what this branch was going to be. It was
Yep,
amazing.
yep.
Yeah. So
That's
let's.
that's that's usually how my maps start. Is I have a good idea, and then I just start throwing details around and
Hmm.
start. I think I built the layout of this place and kind of the foundations in one night in that first night.
Yeah, it was very
So
quick. You sent it back to me. I was impressed. I was majorly
mhm.
impressed. Let's go inside and take a look at what else you've done in here. So, just to clarify, I basically did very little with this branch. Just added a few things. This is almost fully your work.
Mhm.
So why don't you kind of give an idea, like these levers? What are they? I always wondered what
Well,
those are.
basically the uh, the details are supposed to look. It's supposed to be kind of cluttered. The
Yeah,
if you look at the roof design, it's
yeah,
bizarre. So the
it
architecture of this
is.
place, it was built by a kind of paranoid and insane person. So the architecture should be really wacky.
So LeBroer built it.
Yes, that's
Okay.
how it goes. There's a reference in the book back in this room to
Yeah.
that map, and this one it's not a related map, but it's a reference certainly.
And the professor. See, this is the thing. A lot of people were confused as to what the roles were of the player. The professor is leaving all the books. It's
Hmm.
kind of his journals, which is kind of funny in the Orange Dimension how it ends up. But he's leaving all the books, and the housekeeper comes along. So these little plates I like that you did. This is sort of, although I don't know about telling the player's thoughts to them, but it's an interesting effect. This is the player thinking, and the books are the professor's thoughts, right?
Yes, and then there's with the exception of the first book outside, that's
Right.
just an introduction.
Yeah.
Get the
And a lot
context.
I noticed a lot of players didn't understand exactly. Well, I think they kind of got it near the end, but they didn't really get their whole role in the professor's books and people thinking that a robot's talking in the kitchen and all that.
Yeah, what I've been doing in books nowadays is I've been it's because people don't pay attention to the book authors. If you look at this
Yes.
book, it says Rooms, and then underneath by Professor Orange. Most
Right.
people just read Rooms, grab the book, and start reading, not
Yep.
knowing who wrote it. What I've been
Yes.
doing in books now is the first line in the book is the author,
Oh, okay.
and I think that helps to clarify. But
Books is an interesting way to tell a story too. Like, because
mhm,
logically, I wouldn't write a book, leave it there for somebody to find my story, you know.
mhm.
But
Well, Professor Orange isn't really right in the head.
yeah, from this, he's crazy, crazier,
Yeah,
craziest. Okay, so this is the sort of hedge maze, and I know you had some thoughts about making the adventure branch sort of expanded upon multiple aspects of different genres. So you had this section which is kind of like a little maze. You had a redstone puzzle. You had a little parkour area, and I guess a timing bridge that I thought was way too hard, so I made it slower. But why don't you talk about your thoughts between that sort of thing?
yeah. Really, when I build an adventure map, I think of adventure maps as a really a multi-genre map in itself.
Hmm.
So what I try to do is I try to link it to the rest of Diversity 2 by having a certain genre in each tower. So this one's the maze, labyrinthian.
Oh, okay.
The second tower is the parkour tower. Third is really the puzzle tower,
Yeah.
and the
So
fourth.
you intentionally um were trying to link it with the diversity 2 map, or that's just
I
kind of a
was, yes.
general. Really? Oh, I did not know that.
This pressure plate right here.
Yeah.
I thought the direction was pretty clear with this one because
Oh,
it says
yes.
maybe I should get some food or cook some food. And
People are really clueless when it comes to maps. You have to
mhm.
really I don't know. And what okay, now these here. I didn't
Oh
even
yes,
really know what they
these.
were. You had to explain to me what these were. What
Yeah,
are
they
they supposed to
looked
be?
they looked nicer when before 1.8 when the anvils were flipped the other way, so you didn't have like this thing in the middle. But
Oh.
there's supposed to be little drawers. Those are little handles.
Yeah, okay. I still don't
Uh,
see it, but I have
yeah,
seen
it's difficult
LPs
to
where
see.
they've said they see it.
It's difficult to see now with when the anvils they used to they didn't pop out as much.
Mm, okay.
They were behind the signs a little bit more, so there was just like a couple little
Oh, did you only
marks
see
really.
the top part?
You saw the top and just a tiny little bit of the bottom.
That would make more sense. Then it would look actually like a full handle there.
Yeah, so it doesn't really look like a handle anymore, but
Okay, come
I
over
guess
here
a strange handle.
because this thing here, this is, and we're not going to be talking about the mechanics till the next episode, but this thing here, I have everybody who's seen it thought it was absolutely brilliant. I was blown away. This is all CFG's idea here. This mirror maze or mirror plate puzzle. Like, talk about that because I told you right off when we first played this together. This is fantastic. I love this little thing.
Yeah, it's one thing that I've really always wanted to do in Minecraft is do things with lasers and mirrors.
Hmm.
And before Minecraft 1.8 mechanics, it was difficult to do.
Here.
But this was the first thing that I made in this branch.
Oh,
Was
okay.
this puzzle? Actually, I was thinking of it as kind of a standalone concept.
I'm glad
And
you.
then you came along and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you want to make an adventure branch?" And I said, "Yeah, I can definitely apply this idea that
It's
I have."
it's so good. I'm so happy that you gave this to diversity too instead of keeping it to yourself because I've seen so many people love it and I think it is in one aspect it's kind of the best classic puzzle in the entire map, I think.
Mhm.
Now, of course, the puzzle branch has its own crazy mechanics, but I think this really appeals to sort of a Zelda type player who likes that sort of thing.
Mhm.
I chose to use blocks because it's a little bit more, I don't know, it feels more Minecrafty to me
Yes,
instead
yeah,
of
I
having
agree.
particle effects or something like that.
Okay, well
And
let's go over actually what I want to do is quickly go into the bathroom here. And we don't really need to talk about too much of the plumbing. That was kind of the last thing we did together.
yeah, yeah,
Which
we came and what did we do? We just came into this map and I think it was we were uh, making these item frames unbreakable,
yes.
and then you had the
Yeah.
idea to add a to make the shower functional.
Well, I thought it was kind of weird that you had buttons, but they didn't do anything. And I thought people are going to say, how come they don't do anything? So we had to do something. But
And then I went around and just did stuff on the map while you spent all of your time, countless hours, just doing some command block magic
yeah.
behind those buttons.
I want to talk about this. Okay, in there.
Oh yeah,
Okay, I want to talk about that because that is the for me when I played it, I could not find that last mirror switch, and everybody who has been playing Minecraft for years knows about this little trick.
yeah, the little painting. Whoop.
Well, I hadn't been playing. Well, I've been playing Minecraft for years, but I'm not one of the first generation players, and I've seen so many people struggle over finding that that plate there. But but you come from the old school style where that's where
I
you put
do.
stuff behind the mirrors hiding.
This is a common practice for old school adventure maps because there weren't very many other ways to hide things.
Yeah,
Really, it was hide things behind a painting.
cut a few signs.
That was one of the few ways to hide things
Yeah,
back in what was it like 2011, 2012 old school adventure maps.
yeah. Um, Now I told you we talked about this. I said people are not going to be able to find this. I know it's going to be hard for them. So I added that little glass block. But still, I've seen so many people struggle to find this one.
Well, the problem is if you come into the bathroom,
Yeah,
if you're, you know, not a very observant player, then you come over here and it's like, oh, there's nothing over here.
that's right. So many people
You have
miss
to
it.
be standing in the right spot.
So many people miss it, and the difficulty is trying to make it not look like an obvious giveaway, but
Hmm.
sort of subtly hint and work with the architecture.
I think I think you definitely did a good job right here. Um, the because the drawer is missing.
Yeah.
I think that kind of for me it draws my attention. Why is there a drawer missing here?
Eh,
It's not symmetrical. But that's me. I'm
we're map
drawn to
makers,
small
and
details like that.
yeah, we're map makers. Okay, so redstone puzzle. We'll get into more detail with that later. Now, I wanted to show you this. I don't know if you knew I did this. I renamed the torch in here the
I
complex
did. I noticed
spark.
that.
And you know why that is?
Complex.
Yes, in complex
You're
you
advertising my
have to find the
branch.
spark. It's a little nod back to my first map. Um
Advertising my branch.
yeah. Well, hey, advertising. You want to talk about advertising? Let's talk about advertising. Is it over here? I believe it is over here. Okay, here's a book that you wrote, and look at we have you. Professor Orange says he can fill his shelves with the Infinity Dungeon, the Puzzle Cube, and the Iron Rose. Now, are these maps you've actually played? Maps you've enjoyed, watched? What's your connection to those maps? Because you
Uh,
wrote that book.
no, those are just books for the bookshelf.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I've played the Puzzle Cube. I haven't played Infinity Dungeon, but it is made by our friend Jiggerbob, who's an amazing map maker. And I've seen part of the Iron Rose played by the Yogscast, but what like is do you know those map makers? I guess you know Jiggerbob.
To some extent. I mean, I've seen their work, and
Hmm.
I thought it would be good to give a shout out to some other map makers in
Yes.
the some other classic adventure map makers, I suppose.
I
I
and
guess Puzzle Cube is a puzzle map, but It's really just a shout out to other high quality maps out there.
Well, Puzzle Cube was so hard. Like, you think you're done with it, and then it gets twice as hard.
Yeah, here
Um,
have some bonus levels that
yeah.
are impossible.
Oh, you've played it then. You've played it. Okay. Um, oh, what is I gonna say? Yeah, like you're. I don't know if you do that in all your maps or because I do that too. Like,
I
I
have I've
love.
actually done shout outs I think in almost every map of mine
Yeah,
to
putting
other
other map
maps.
makers' work or mentioning them in your maps and giving a nod, like kind of an Easter egg or an inside joke.
I like to add a lot of inside jokes to my maps,
Yeah.
such as let's see, where is it? Where's an empty
Oh,
bowl?
where
Things
is
in
that?
my maps that are hard for the average
You don't
player to
even know where
notice.
your own bowl is.
I don't know. I thought there was one in this room. Oh no, it's in the suitcase. Yeah, empty bowl filled with mold.
It can't be empty if it's filled with something.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Enjoy
see.
it.
I never thought about that until I saw. I can't remember who was playing it. They pointed it out. I'm gonna go creative. Um, yeah. I just broke the rules to get in here. So I think what we should do is quickly go over to the orange dimension and talk about that a little bit. Okay. So here we are in the orange dimension, and more vines. Yeah, you're obsessed with vines. That's so many vines. But
Oh,
you're an awesome organic
it's
builder.
because they help create depth.
Okay.
They're really nice for like, oop, for example,
Goodbye.
if you have a vine growing down like this,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it helps. It almost creates a layer. It helps you judge how far back, say, that chest is. If you're
Hmm.
standing way back here,
Oh,
that's why I like vines. Is
building tips with CFG. Hmm.
I could have a new
Interesting.
series.
Now I noticed that the bedrock here is your thing, because I've played other maps by you, and you start on a block of bedrock in the middle of. Is that a signature thing or
Not
unintentional?
really. It's something that I've seen other people do
Okay.
as a marker of a spawn point, and so I've just kind of I
Bedrock.
caught that tendency to add bedrock wherever like a starting point is,
Mm-hmm.
as a reference point for myself and a reference point for the player. Like this is the start of the orange dimension is what this is really saying.
Right. Okay, so Orange Dimension, your thoughts on how I know there's a book that says it's like a mirror, but it's not identical. What's the idea behind that?
Well, I mean, first of all, it sounds all fancy and science fiction-y,
It's
right?
fancy and yes. Yeah. But it's not the thing is the worlds are not quite identical.
hmm
Um and I didn't actually realize what that meant until you were telling me that earlier. It's like it is a similarity dimension, but many things have gone wrong, including the green unstable creatures.
Yep. I wonder what those are.
Yeah, they're unstable in the orange dimension.
And basically, it's supposed to be the lore goes that every difference in this realm is has a reason.
Hmm.
So, for example, in the kitchen here,
Okay.
the difference in the kitchen is that the lights are covered with gravel, a lot of them anyway, which lets
The
mob
lights are
spawn here.
covered in gravel. Well, it's on peaceful
Here
right now. Oh, I didn't.
and over here.
Oh, did not notice that before.
And then, of course, there's the fifth tower. You'll notice this pool of water is filled in. There was a pool of
Yep.
water here, and that's if you fall, well, there's nothing to save your fall.
No, because it's a lot more dangerous of a place.
hmm
Um, Now, what are
There's
the?
dead bushes in these flower pots.
Oh, there's so
That's
much.
mainly just to make it orange, though. Brown, I suppose.
Okay, I see. Yes, and that was one of the things when we had talked, and I said you wanna build something. I said to you No resource packs.
Yeah.
And I think that made you really work a lot harder
Well,
to.
it disappointed me because it meant that I couldn't have fancy curtains around all of the windows, which is something I did in the Brewer Mansion. It's one of my favorite details.
Yes, but
But,
look at what you accomplished by using default. It's pretty amazing.
it showcases all of the orange blocks,
Yeah,
certainly.
it does. Let's talk about just briefly our problem with lag when we
Oh yeah.
when we did this. I had to take out probably half the spawners you had placed throughout the map.
Hmm.
Um, because there was some major lag problems, and I don't know if there still would be. I think that was before that one snapshot update.
Hmm.
But I think what I left in from the ones you added is a pretty decent balance for an entire map. Because by the time they get here, it's sort of we really want them to get the wool. I don't want them to spend too
Yeah.
much time here.
Oh hey, there's a checkpoint here.
Yeah, there's a checkpoint there. There's a checkpoint. Is there another one? I think there's one more. I can't remember. But your this up here was this supposed to be a maze or just a cool design of red sand, or what was the idea
Really,
behind this?
it was made to slow the player down a little bit because at
Hmm.
this point, um, there's not really much of an obstacle to getting to the orange wool.
Right.
Besides, a couple mobs. There's really so. I add this to slow the player down a little bit so that the spawners would have enough time to spawn mobs.
Hmm. Okay, and finally we have that poor clock that doesn't work in almost all the LPs because the
Yeah,
item in the hopper gets duplicated. But
yeah,
we
it's,
have Professor Orange. So originally you had a player head here. You had a player head.
I did.
You did, and
I'm pretty sure it was a pumpkin.
I
He didn't have his awesome hat though.
no, I think I changed it to a pumpkin.
Oh,
Anyway,
well.
then of
Oh no,
course
yeah, yeah. It was it was just Steve
it
head,
was
wasn't
Steve
it?
head. That's right.
That's right.
We had the banner here, which looked like a cape. I think you added that, or maybe I can't
Yeah,
remember.
we have an item frame back of it, so you can see Professor Orange if you look at it
Yeah,
the right way.
I I did that because I didn't want them to think the sword was Professor Orange or the bow was like kind of if they just were looking at it at like
Oh yeah, that's right. I had those renamed to Professor Orange, didn't I?
I don't know. Oh, you put an I didn't even notice it was an orange tulip up there.
Yeah, that's his hat.
Yeah. Um, so you come up here, the clock is supposed to activate and tell you you need the orange essence. Of course, we don't have the orange essence.
Oh,
Actually, I could get the orange essence. I think it's over here.
hang on.
Yeah, it's over here. Okay,
I'll get it.
and I already got it.
Don't worry, I'll get it.
I had it.
I'll get it.
I got it.
Oh,
I'm getting it. Whoa!
looks like you already got it.
I got it. Okay. So of course, bring your orange essence, and throw it in here. And there we go. Now this was your idea.
It was, yeah. I wanted an interesting ending instead of just, oh, here's the orange wool. So teleported them back to the normal dimension in the same place,
Yeah,
and you fall to your doom.
that took me a lot to agree with you on that because I love the fact that you get that busted wool in your inventory. Like that would be the 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 mode of way you're gonna get the wool from every branch.
Hmm.
But I felt okay. We'll have one that's a little bit different,
Yeah.
and I didn't actually realize this until Jiggerbov told me when he played it. Now you tell me if this is correct, but the reason that you do die in the end is because you go back to the real world and the fifth tower doesn't exist.
That is correct.
So you are at that height and there's nothing there and then you die.
Yep.
So basically everything you tried to accomplish, no, you end up dying in the end.
Yep. It's not a happy ending. But, at least you get the wool.
You get the wool. You get sent back from the magic
We're
of Minecraft.
resurrected back in the hub.
And then we get our first colors around there. Woohoo! Yeah. So, thoughts about being a part of the team and process of building? Is it difficult to work on this sort of thing?
Not if you have vines.
Not if you have vines. Not if you
No,
have vines.
this map, it took a long time. I think my branch was the adventure branch was one of the first done,
Yeah, I think it actually was the
and
first.
it was finished early in the year as well.
Hmm.
So months before the map was actually released.
Yeah, and what it did when you gave it to me, I was just thinking we have just completely upped the game for the entire map because when I was talking to you, I didn't even really know what I was going to do for the rest of the map.
Hmm.
And you brought that out, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Now it's going to be even harder because all the other branches have to be just as good.
Hey,
But
let's start diversity 3 right now.
oh God, no.
I'll build a 4-hour map
Hmm.
and complete with double the amount of vines.
That's how long it took you on this one. But okay, so next time we're going to be talking about the mechanics, like the puzzles and the obstacles we ran into.
Which are many.
Uh-huh. But yeah, anything else?
Uh, Bye.
Bye. Okay, see you next time, guys. Enjoy your Minecrafting. And yeah, Adventure Branch Mechanics next episode. Bye.